What is up guys, my name is Chase and welcome to Flashback February, where every week we'll be covering a topic related to classic video games or tech. This week, let's talk about the iPhone 5. On September 12, 2012, Apple held a special event with the invitation including a shadow of the number 5, which most likely meant we're getting an iPhone 5. At the event, they revealed the new iPhone 5 alongside new iPod Nano and iPod Touch models. This was one of my most hyped releases ever. I actually captured the whole experience on camera. I went as far as going to the AT&T store just to get it in my grubby little hands early. So now, let's take a trip back to 2012 with the iPhone 5. So the iPhone 5 was sporting a lot of new features. One new thing about the iPhone 5 was the new larger screen. The iPhone 5 now had a 5-inch Retina display, and it was the first time the iPhone had a 16:9 screen. And that made it really nice for watching YouTube videos on because the video would fill up the entire screen rather than having those like black bars on the top and bottom. Which, funny enough, is something that we deal with now on the iPhones. But this was really cool for watching HD videos on because, yeah, the video would fill up the whole screen. I remember the first time I watched a YouTube video on this thing and I was just like so blown away by the fact that the videos filled up the whole screen. For 2012, it is surprising how small the bezels are on this thing. So the new 4-inch screen was really exciting coming from, the old phones with the smaller screens. Another new thing about the iPhone 5 was a brand new design. This was the iPhone that started the controversial two-tone backing. You have the two glossy parts on the top and bottom, and like this big matte area. Looking back at it now, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I liked when it was all just one type of backing. Along with that, this iPhone was the thinnest iPhone up to that point. This phone is so thin. It's pretty insane how thin this phone is. And it feels nice to hold too. I don't know, something about the weight distribution with this phone just feels so nice. I feel like going back to the iPhone 3Gs and, the iPhone 4s. Those phones were a bit chunky. Now that this one got super duper thin, it started doing CrossFit, it feels really nice in the hand. And of course, this was Apple's big controversial change over to Lightning. The old iPhones used to have what was called 30-pin. It was this big, just ugly, annoying connector on the iPhone and, the iPods. And I think what made it really, really annoying was that you could only use it one way. So unlike nowadays where with USB-C and Lightning, it doesn't matter which way you plug in the cable. With 30-pin, you had to put it in the right way. But yeah, the iPhone 5 being the first iPhone that switched over to Lightning, I remember it was a big controversy. People were freaking out because all of their 30-pin accessories wouldn't work with the new Lightning, which is so funny because that has been continually happening, whether it's the MacBook switching to USB-C, the iPhone 7 not having a headphone jack. Maybe it's just because I'm an Apple sheep, but I've always been in the camp that change can be good. Sure, it was annoying when we had to get brand new Lightning accessories or when we had to switch all of our earphones after they took out the headphone jack on the iPhone. But I mean, if you compare Lightning to 30-pin, Lightning is just way better. There's just always going to be that growing period, so whenever there's new changes in electronics, I like to think about that example. And right around this time is when Apple started really caring about their cameras. The iPhone 5 had an 8-megapixel iSight camera. It was capable of doing panoramas and up to 1080p at 30 frames per second video. Then on the front we had the FaceTime HD camera, which if I'm not mistaken was the first time we had a front-facing camera in HD. It's capable of 1.2 megapixel pictures and 720p at 30 frames per second video. I remember there was a big problem with iPhone 5s because they started using some kind of sapphire crystal for the camera, and it would cause a weird purple light beam in some pictures, which actually happened to me. I was actually kind of freaking out about it, but I mean, in the end, it turned out to be fine. I don't know. And then some other just random stuff about the iPhone 5. This was the first iPhone to include earpods. At the iPhone 5 event, Apple introduced these brand new earphones called earpods. And when they first came out with the iPhone 5, I tried them out and I said this: I don't like them. And that's pretty much how I felt since then. Whether they're earpods or the regular AirPods, they just don't fit in my ears, I don't know. So in conclusion, looking back at the iPhone 5, this was a pretty fun time for the iPhone. Lots of big changes under the hood and outside of the hood. I don't know if that's a saying. This would have been the first major redesign of the iPhone since Steve Jobs' passing, and it's just really interesting to go back to this little piece of technology and to see how much it has evolved. Let me know in the comments if you guys had an iPhone 5 or maybe you still do have an iPhone 5. If you guys want to see more of my Apple videos, feel free to check them out below. For now, thank you for watching. My name is Chase and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.